Thank you, Sarada, and Venny, for giving me this opportunity. Ladies and gentlemen, it's an honor for me to present my 5 years experience, how we are able to move quality and accreditation as a movement. I always consider NABH as a byproduct, but what we are concerned about the quality and the patient safety for our patients. I had an interesting, found an interesting article in newspaper published in September 12. Accreditation low on hospital agenda. As on today, only 0.34% Indian hospitals accredited, and of 53 accredited hospital, 4 are only government hospitals. Thanks to the government of Tamil Nadu government, there is one public hospital has been accredited. That's Namakkal Hospital. Other 4 hospital, one is in Delhi. So here is a big challenge. Why the accreditation is not moving in our country. My 5 years experience with Mission Hospital, we have good documentation system, but when we ask the physicians or doctors to write what they practice, that's a big challenge. Doctors are not having time. So good IT system will definitely boost the accreditation in our country. That will enhance the quality and the patient safety in our country. Definitely I must compliment Aavanor system for bringing this HIS to our Mission Hospital, so that we will be in a position to save 3 to 4 months time, so that we can move our hospital to closer to the accreditation hospital. I have a few presentation. I will be available during lunchtime. The time is given only 20 minutes. I'll just quickly go through the accreditation. What's the state we are in? What are the big challenges to us? When you look at it, last 30 years, the healthcare is going through a transition. If you look at it from industrial age of medicine, today we are an information age of medicine. I was surprised. I had a good picture. One of the one of the beggars in one of our states, he is holding a mobile phone today. When I looked at it, there are 53 crores of people, they have access for mobile phone. 2003 probably we had 1 crore people, they had access for mobile phone. Today 53 crore people, they have access for mobile phone. So information age, today we need information for decision making. ICT is a backbone for accreditation. Some of the drivers in healthcare, we call it, these are the major drivers forcing our healthcare to go for this transition. One is our economic growth. People have a purchasing capacity thanks to the health insurance. Just now, Dr. Prakash talked about how insurance is picking up. Probably a few years ago, we had only 10% of people, they had some amount of health insurance. I don't have the figures now, but that is going to be increasing now in the future. There are, thanks to the state government for all the PPP model, that's going to increase in our country. The private investment in healthcare, quality and accreditation is taking a center place now for healthcare. Medical technology, marketing and communication, human resource, medical tourism and information technology. These are some of the drivers which is changing the last 30 years. Healthcare is going through a transition. Today the old model is a provider-based model. We had a product, we are trying to sell it to the people. Today the present model is a customer-based and evidence-based model. Today we need information to provide evidence-based medicine. Concept of TQM and the continuous quality improvement has taken a central role in healthcare. Moving away from inspection-oriented, from quality-oriented improvement system. That's a two system when we talk about health insurance. One is the regulation. Government is bringing a lot of regulation. If you look at it, the state government, a lot of clinical establishment bill. It's been introduced. There's a central clinical establishment bill. That's not going to solve our problem. Many inspection models have failed. If you look at it, the anti-smoking bill in Delhi, the bill is not going to solve the problem. There has to be a voluntary movement and effort from all sectors of the society. Increased awareness among the stakeholders. I have few interesting pictures I just wanted to quickly show to and move my focus. One is in 1970 when we looked at, the patient is coming to a doctor is asking, what's the problem? Doctor, I'm not able to see well in my both eyes. I have come here to see what best he can do. You are like my God. So if you look at it, 30 years down the line, the whole scenario changes. The patient is sitting, maybe slightly exaggerated, but that's the way things are going. Doctors, I have immature cataract in my right eye. Please do a Paco foldable lens and let me know what lens you are going to put in. What we are trying to say is the amount of time we spend with a patient, that makes a lot of difference. The increased knowledge among the patients also is increasing because of the access to the information through internet or the magazines, whatever you call. When you mentioned patients were patient earlier, today patients demand fast, quick and very accurate results. You are not going to give any inaccurate results. They want quick results. So ICT is a backbone again. Trust in clinical knowledge, probably in 1970s. And today you look at it, sophisticated equipment and with computerized reports. With accurate, today we are looking at labs are to be accredited by NABL. This is another area we are trying to help many mission hospitals. We are trying to save this mission hospital from the legal or litigation. 70 people may think any accidents or medical error, they are not going to bother. They were never bothered to take you to the court. Today, 2010, people are just waiting. Any medical error or medication error, surgical error, people are just waiting for it. I was told in Andhra Pradesh the advocates are moving into the hospital trying to find how much money they can or take the hospital to court. So we need to be very careful. That's why the ICT will definitely help our hospital saving from all these legal battles. Lucien Lepe, it's the doctor from Harvard University. We consider him as a father of quality movement or the patient safety movement. He said modern healthcare presents a complex, most safety challenges of any activity on earth. It's a big challenge for hospitals today, and we need to implement simple solutions. Bringing in technology, it's a nice concept. Even technology is coming to our private rooms. So we need technology and to be updated with our institutions. Patient safety is a big issue. There are some statistics. I don't want to bombard with all statistics. There are 334 million operations are done globally every year. A rate of 0.3% to 0.8% deaths and 3 to 16% of complications. That means 1 million deaths and 70 million complications. In USA alone, there are 180,000 people die due to medical accident, which are preventable. Not all deaths, majority of the deaths can be preventable by a good system of analysis and good HIA system. We need to remind I'm not an employer or employed in NABH, but my focus in life is patient safety and quality of care. Focus on patient safety, I consider the NABH is a greater opportunity for us to bring patient safety and quality. There are two areas of focus. One is clinical quality. We have guidelines for clinical areas, guidelines for advising surgeries, pre-op and post-op follow-up guidelines, and monitoring clinical outcomes and clinical audit. The KPIs we have in NABH, there are 73 KPIs when you go for NABH accreditation. If you ask, everything will be followed, but except the KPIs. I spend hours and hours with the doctors, try to understand. Please do these key performance indicators. That's one of the big challenge why the hospitals are delayed for going NABH. So the key performance indicators for clinical audits, morbidity, mortality, called tissue audit, is one key area NABH we are keenly looking at. The other area, the non-clinical areas, probably the expectations of the patient. I have listed that out. It's not something new to you. These are the areas, again, we need a lot of key performance indicators. How do we address those issues? Less waiting time. Can we increase our time so that patient satisfaction will go up? Good medical care, excellent hospitality. I'll just leave these presentations to you. Please take it. And these are some of the areas when they come to hospital. When we look at it, the clinical and the non-clinical areas, we need to focus on these areas. My focus is for my presentation is the accreditation. So accreditation is basically better quality of care obtained by regulatory and accreditation, those two areas. As I told you, regulation will come from government. Accreditation today is a voluntary process. Accreditation is recognition by authoritative body for meeting the requirements of standards through external peer assessment to deliver the required quality of services. One is there are four components to accreditation. One is it's a voluntary. It's not mandatory as on today. Second one is we have laid out, or the NABH has laid out standards. There are 100 standards and 500 objective elements, 514 or 16 objective elements. So the third aspect is to compliance, to follow the standards. The ultimate is to improve the quality of care. There are these four components when we talk about accreditation. The history, if you look at it, over a period of time, we slowly evolved. The 1970s, nobody thought, what is quality? We never heard of. Accreditation, why we need to be accredited? We are doing a good job. In 80s, something called ISO came into the market, but it's not hospital or healthcare industry focused. They said it's not meant for hospitals. And 1986, the Consumer Protection Act came in, and now today hospitals and doctors are covered under the Consumer Protection Act. There is a wake-up call. In 1990s, some of the JCA or the overseas accreditation came into a market. It's called Joint Commission International. Some of the hospitals went for ISO. And 2005, recognition for the need for Indian standard. So NABH rolled out in 2005. The first edition of the test standard book came in, and it was again revised in 2007. Today we are following 2007 standard book. Since I think as on today, 58 hospitals are accredited in our country. There are more than 400 hospitals. They have sent their application form. So the scope is vast, and it is increasing more. The pressure is on NABH to now every day going for more and more hospitals to be accredited. What are the benefits by for going for accreditation? The patients are the first beneficiary, biggest beneficiary. Results in high quality of care and patient safety. Get services by medical staff with credentials. Right of patients and they are respected and protected. One of the things I liked it, patient rights and their dignity is maintained. When we go for NABH accreditation, you can't take patients for granted. Patient satisfaction is regularly evaluated. Many times, many hospitals I go, they collect the patient feedback form, but it's not being analyzed. It's kept like all data is not being analyzed. Probably a good HIS system will be a boost for them to analyze this data so that we can take appropriate decisions. What is the benefits to the staff? The staff are satisfied. It's a good working environment. Provides a continuous learning opportunity. You work in a good environment. Leadership and ownership for all the clinical processes. It also stimulates continuous improvement. When we go for NABH accreditation, first thing we ask, do you have a training plan? How many CMEs are conducted? What is your clinical audit? How often you meet? A lot of opportunity for the staff to learn and to improve the quality of care. What is the benefit to the hospital? It enables and demonstrating commitment to the quality of care and the patient safety. It raises community confidence. Today you buy even the first thing you buy a water bottle, you look at it whether it has ISO mark or any BSI mark. It raises the community confidence. It provides opportunity for healthcare unit to the benchmark with the best. Of course, the health insurance is going to recognize the accredited hospital. Plus your medical value travel, if you are in a metros, that's going to help the hospital go for medical value travel. A quick glance at what are the bodies available today. NABL is for the lab and NABH for the hospitals, and we have few international bodies which are helping our hospitals. One is JACO. Most of the American hospitals are accredited by JACO, and JCI. Few hospitals in India are accredited by JCI, and there are one or two others. Why we need to talk about NABH? Why can't we go for JCI or any other thing is NABH is specific and it's clinically oriented. It's developed within in our country, more focus for hospitals, focusing on patient safety and quality of care. Evidence-based medicine, less emphasis for documentation. Of course, documentation is a part. When we compare to ISO and other accrediting bodies, less emphasis for documentation, more for outcome or to implementing this NABH standard than the documentation. Assessment by peers, a similar group of people. Near 100% of sampling is selected. It's not you pick one or two areas and say this hospital is quality of care is good. This entire hospital is accredited or inspected. No commercial interest whatsoever. If you look at the standard as on today, during last 1 year, only 58 hospitals are accredited. Supposing you do any under the table business, most of the hospital would have got it. But today it's in the hands of professional people, well managed. There is no commercial interest. It's our own Indian national standard with international recognition. Our NABH is recognized by ISQA. It's an international organization for quality accreditation. If you look at it, please buy this book. It has only 10 chapters. The first 5 chapters, the whole hospital services are divided into 10 chapters. The first 5 chapters, if you look at it, we call it a patient-centric standards. Access, how easy for a patient to get access to the hospital, who does the assessment, how the assessment is being made, and in case of transferring the patient, what are the protocols, how the patient is taken care. The other one is interesting, the patient rights and respects, or education. When the patient comes, what are their rights and responsibilities are being taught, and the dignity is maintained. Then the third chapter is talking about the care of patients. There comes a lot of key performance indicators.